Hello guys, this is Travis with Beyond Bipolar blog. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different. So there was a subscriber of mine, his name is Cory. He befriended me on Facebook. I've got to know him a little bit. He's been diagnosed with schizophrenia and is struggling with suicidal ideations. It seems as though he's also been diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder, so you might also have bipolar disorder along with it. So I just thought I'd give him a shout out, include his link to his YouTube page below, and I'm just gonna, you know, give my experience, give my information, give my advice to him. Just give whatever generally I come across, and this is just a reaction to some of his stuff he posted. So based on what I know, it seems like he's been on a sleep med, trazodone. It seems like he's been on an injection called Invega Sustenata, and it seems like he's using meds as his last resort. In the beginning, he has schizophrenic paranoia, and then it seems he's been diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder. I've been on trazodone. It never helped me for sleep, but I'm not quite sure about that one. I guess Strattera he's been on. I'm not quite sure. Never been on that, so I can't really give information. But Zyprexa definitely that made me really sleepy. So it's a drug that I never find to be much helpful. But I think he's still on it. He also seems to be on Wellbutrin, which was a antidepressant that I've also been on, and it seems like it's working well for him. So the last video I saw was he was not doing well with schizoaffective disorder, and he's delaying his school he's part of. He is younger than me. He's under his 30s, I believe. But let's just see his latest video, and I might skip around just to speed things up. But with best intentions, I seem to just give my experience, advice, and anything that I have to think of.
Hey YouTube, it's me, Cory. I just want to do a quick update here. This is probably going to be my last video I do for quite a while, actually, because later this week, I'm going to not Los Angeles, Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm going there from April 1st, which is this Thursday, until April 12th. And today is Monday, the 29th, it looks like. And I in a little bit here, I got to make this short because in a little bit here, I have treatment, my outpatient treatment for my substance abuse problems. Um,
Just want to let you know I never had a substance abuse problem. I am not the best person when it comes to advice, but the thing that I have to let you know is that it's a personal responsibility to try to get both of these resolved. I think dual diagnosis is something that makes mental illness even more harder to treat. The best thing that you can learn from me is that, the reasons why I've have not done any addiction type behaviors, whether it's alcohol, drug abuse, cutting. The only thing that I've struggled with was suicide ideations. Though that's not really an addiction, it has caused some harm to my thought process and even wanted me to consider committing suicide. I've been to 7 hospitalizations, so I'm sure he's been to a few, not as much as me, but I know he's been to a few, so let's keep watching.
in about a half hour or so. Um, yeah, you know, I came on here last week and I was really kind of struggling, and I just wanted to give you guys an update and say that I had a great weekend and I'm doing a lot better this week thus far. Um, I had the opportunity to spend the night at my friend's house the other night, and I think that was a really good experience for me. Um, I'm getting better about taking my morning medication for my mood disorder. I'm
That's a really good thing. Another thing is when it comes to your medication regimen, it's very important to take it on time. He's been telling me he's been sleeping past the time he takes the meds because the Zyprexa makes him sleepy. So it's a good thing that things seem to be managing. The last video I heard him talking about was that he wanted to consider a group home where a nurse would wake him up. I'm not quite sure on his technique, whether it's an alarm and he's not waking up or a decreased dose in Zyprexa, but something is working. And if you want to make meds work, if you want to make sure your mental health is working correctly or more manageable, you got to take your medications on time and do it routinely every day. You got to be disciplined about this. And there's various videos I talk about in which I describe ways to remember to take your medications. But if you're oversleeping, that's something that's very, very difficult. I've been on 8 different antipsychotics, so I know the whereabouts of how much somnolence they cause or sleepiness they do cause.
You know, sometimes Mike wakes me up and has me take it, or you know, sometimes one of my friends will wake me up and have me take it. So
that pretty much answers the question. He has someone waking him up, which is probably very, very helpful when it comes to managing your medications and your mood disorder.
I've been doing pretty good about my medication consistency lately, and I feel like that's a good thing. Um, I I guess I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about one thing that's going on is you know, I do still struggle with
This is a pretty long
hearing
video, so I'm going to
voices.
speed this up a little bit, so it might be a little
I
bit
hear them
different
almost
here.
24/7.
I'll put it to
Except when I'm asleep.
1.25.
One thing that's really good right now is I actually am sleeping, which is really good progress because like a lot of times when this happens, I can't get sleep. It gets too loud. They wake me up and keep me awake all hours of the night. And so it's actually good that I'm sleeping, and I think part of that has to do with the Zyprexa. I think it makes me kind of sleepy.
Like I said, antipsychotics make you sleepy, so generally they do help promote sleep.
So anyway, you know, the thing the Zyprexa helps with is it makes the voices quieter than what they would be. If I'm not on medication, they get very loud, and I that it's just not good when that happens because I end up in bad situations, you know, and lose track of reality, and it's just not good. But
I used to have a diagnosis with schizoaffective disorder, but they totally canned that, and now think I'm just bipolar with psychotic features. There seems to be some relationship to schizophrenia and schizoaffective disorder, since in a nutshell, schizoaffective disorder is kind of like 2 illnesses, one, schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. So this guy seems to be struggling with schizoaffective disorder, and the voices seem to hurt a lot. For me, when I heard voices, I just had these thoughts about trying to kill myself. They weren't exactly voices, so maybe that's the reason why they decided to remove that label. But just because antipsychotics are typically meant for psychosis, like voices or generally anything, they are very much used predominantly in bipolar, schizophrenia, schizoaffective disorder. Zyprexa, Clozaril, Geodon, Risperdal, and Vega. I'm on what the hell? Okay, I totally forgot. Lost subject here. So there's also Vraylar, and I am on. Yeah, I totally forgot this. Latuda. Excuse me, I'm on Latuda, which is also an antipsychotic.
Yeah, I I think I'm doing pretty good at managing them because right now, really all I'm getting is just like, you know, this week I'm under less stress this week. My stress level went way down over the weekend, and I feel great today. I'm not stressed out. Um, I do still have a while to wait on my housing, but you know that's okay. It's not the end of the world. Um, you know where I live right now, you know, is much better than being homeless. Much better than being in a homeless shelter.
Yeah, I just want to say the environment can really be extremely detrimental or beneficial depending on where you live. If you have around certain toxic people, that can generally be bad. I think he's having issues with his mom, and that's the reason why he wants to move out and live in a group home. Not only that, there's support like nurses and, generally just get a social outlet with some other people. There's people that relate to mental illness, and that's maybe why he wants to go into one. It's gonna be a while. I've never been homeless. I don't understand the whereabouts of it. I don't know how stressful it is. The only thing I know about homelessness is if you go to a shelter, they kick you out at a certain amount of time. And me with which is on an antipsychotic, I sleep like 10 hours a day. So because I sleep 10 hours a day, I would not like these early morning routines. This is why I also, I believe in hospitals if it's the last situation, but the one thing I did not like was having to get up early just to take my medications. And just when they wake you up to eat, it's at 7 in the morning from where I was at Regent's Hospital, and it was really early. And that was the one disadvantage I disliked, which was getting up early in the morning.
And I got to stay in control of this mental health thing, of this whole schizoaffective thing, because I want to be able to live here. I don't want to end up in a homeless shelter again. I've already been homeless twice now, and both of those experiences were not very pleasant experiences. So I mean, yeah, as far as hearing voices, I'm just hearing a lot of whispering this week, and that's okay with me. It's not keeping me awake at night, so I'm not I'm not too worried about it. Um, I've had some people suggest maybe increase the Zyprexa, you know. Um, and the problem with that is my psychiatrist really doesn't want me on a higher dose of it because it's affecting my liver, and that's a whole nother story. I got to go in to have my liver looked at on the 13th, the day after I get back from Las Vegas.
I never had liver problems when it came to antipsychotics. The one thing that I do want to admit is that when I was on lithium, it does require toxicology tests because it can be detrimental to some of your organs. It's very toxic in high quantities, so that's why it has to be measured. And it made me gain a lot of weight, which is the reason why I am no longer on it. But it seems as though Zyprexa is causing some serious issues for him, which is unfortunate because he tells me that it actually works very well for him.
That's because of the Zyprexa, and once I have that done, that'll determine whether or not I can stay on Zyprexa. So I might have to switch an antipsychotic in the future. So I don't know. It's that's kind of a lot to think about right now, but for the time being, I'm going to stay on the Zyprexa and Wellbutrin combination. I feel pretty good about this combination. Last week, I kind of had some problems with my mood disorder, but this week I feel like it's a lot more in control. And I've just been keeping busy by doing a lot of AA and SA meetings, spending time with friends and family.
Support is so essential when it comes to your mental health. I never been to an addiction program like SA or AA, but I do know that it can be beneficial for some people. I feel like any support in your life that is positive can generally have very good results for you, so I do recommend it, whether you're have an addiction or not, or just have mental issues that you want to discuss about. NAMI has various groups that I used to go to, not all the time because I don't think they're essentially helpful at this moment, but back in the day, I did participate in some and felt they were helpful at the time. It gets you out, it gets you moving, it gets you trying to accomplish a goal when it comes to mental health. It gets things off your mind, it gives you a distraction, things like that. So these groups can definitely help. NAMI has one every 2 weeks or every 1 week. You have to look it up, nami.org, and there's another organization called Depression Bipolar Alliance, which DBSA, Depression Bipolar Support Alliance, which also has some groups during the time being, but I'm not sure. I do know they both meet at least once a month, though I'm not sure when it comes to COVID, so you might have to look into that.
Um, we have a dog at the house right now that we're kind of watching while it's like kind of between homes right now, and that's kind of cool, to have the dog here and play with it and stuff. So yeah, I mean, I get a little worried sometimes because like I have a lot of goals. Like I've talked about wanting to volunteer. I've talked about wanting to get back into the workforce, and I just don't know how all that's going to happen if I keep having these mental health symptoms. Like right now, I'm doing really good today, but like I'm trying not to get too excited about it because like how long is that going to last for? So
Generally, it's always good to think in the moment. If you haven't heard of dialectical behavioral therapy, they talk about mindfulness, which is being in the present, thinking in the present, observing, describing whatever in the present, because not only does that push away previous or past or future results. It can also make you less stressed out because you're not thinking in the past or the future. So work on being mindful, people. It can be definitely beneficial to you. But as always, I'm a person that believes in goals, so I always write a goal list, maybe 8 or 10 different goals that I try to fill out monthly or bi-monthly. Whatever I do, I always try to fill out 10 things that I'd like to achieve in the next month or so, and I make these easy goals. But sometimes I do add some longer term goals, but it's not necessary. You just want to, for those that struggle with suicidal ideation, you just want to get through the day, and that can be considered a really good pat on the back, a really good goal for the day. And maybe that's all you need. And for me, at the one time in being, it just, not having negative thoughts, not having suicidal ideation was one of the best things that can happen to me. And to this day, it's one of the best things that can happen to me. I think it's I'm kind of half and half when it comes to options like working or going back to school or doing any support groups, because generally, if you're suicidal, it can be really difficult to want to get up and do these things, like go to work, like volunteer. But at the same time, it could be a very good distraction. I want to say that you got to kind of just weigh your options, do a pro and cons. If you believe that working while with suicide ideations, volunteering while with suicide ideations is worth it, or it actually cuts away some of the suicidal thoughts, or it actually increases them, you got to kind of weigh those options. At the time being, I felt like doing something with my life was very beneficial. And it's not always the same. To be honest with you, ever since I've been on Zymbalta, I didn't have to have these needs for various supports. I didn't have these needs to be extremely busy to keep my mind quiet from suicidal thoughts. All I had to do was take my Zymbalta pretty religiously in the morning, and then for the most part, my day was pretty good, whether I did a lot or I don't do a lot. And don't get me wrong, the more goals you have, the more you are motivated to complete them, and the more you're likely to not be withdrawn from all these negative feelings that you might be accompanied with. But generally, if you have suicide ideations and they are really, really bad, you want to go to the hospital. You want to do that as end result. And for the meantime, if you have someone to talk to, or if you have like friends, family that are not toxic, because toxic people can be really deadly to you. If you have some of these people that you can interact with, that's very essential. And at that time being, before being on Zymbalta, I was, always depressed, always suicidal, and I had to be on watch for most of the time because I just wasn't doing well. And that's the reason why I'm a big believer in meds. He did mention a video which he went off his medications and he says he's not doing well. Well, for the most part, I'm a big believer, proponent in medications. I believe if you find the right one, it will work. And I've been through like 20, 25 different medications, so I know how difficult it is to find the right one, and I know how some of them can do horrible things to you, have severe side effects that can make you feel worse. But if you believe that there's going to be hope, that you believe that you have hope, that you have any type of belief that things will get better, things will likely get better for you. And that's what you need to do if things start going horribly wrong. You want to try to get up, try to get through the day, try to take some positive steps. Just take that next step, and hopefully you can get to where you really want to go in your future.
And another thing I wanted to address too is I need to, in the near future, I need to get back on a regular exercise routine and exercise as much as possible. When I was in my group therapy class for my treatment this past 2 years, one thing that we learned in group therapy was that if you exercise for just 30 minutes 3 times a week, which really is not that difficult, that's the equivalent to taking the antidepressant Zoloft. I don't know how they figured that out, but I don't know. Exercise is beneficial, you guys. So I mean, I'm kind of at a point right now where I'm just doing it like here and there, whenever I feel like it.
I have to agree with him on this, and I'm a big believer in medications. and I'm a big believer in exercise. I actually work out 2 to 3 hours a day. I try to get 12,000 to 18,000 steps. Now, you might think that is totally unrealistic, and for me, it probably is, but I'm a big guy, or I'm a guy that likes to move. I'm a guy that likes to take a step. I'm a guy that seems to be less anxious when I'm moving. So I pace a lot, and I used to think this was really, really bad. But as I grew out of it, I realized that, you're moving, you're exercising, you're grooving, it's okay. It's not like I'm on over exercising where I'm sweating a lot, which if you're on lithium, and some people who are on lithium, if you sweat a lot, you will raise your toxicity levels in your body, which can be bad. But I'm on Lamictal, and that has no side effects, so I'm able to work out hardcore as I want. I do weights. I've lost 56 pounds total at my lowest, and I continue to do it. That the last 2 years I lost, like I said, 56 pounds. And I'm a big believer in exercise. Even if you want to get like 10 minutes again, start with 10 minutes, and maybe the next day add 5, add it to 15, 20, 25, 30 until you hit 30 minutes. And after that, after some period of time, you will realize that it sucks to start, it sucks to get into the habit of it, but once you develop that habit, it's actually something the one thing that you'll definitely look forward to in your future. Every day, 3 to 5 days a week, half hour is something that's extremely logical and sensible, and something that anyone can do. I believe not only does exercise make you more healthy, it cuts away time, so you're distracted. And at the first time, you might feel like, this is just a pain. I don't want to do this. I don't want to start this. I don't. And every day you might feel like that. Well, I just want to let you know, once you get through that for a while, you will develop tolerance, and you will get better at it. You will start developing endorphins, which make you feel good once you exercise. And that's the whole reason why once you're done exercising, you do feel better. So think about the end result here. You are more healthy. Your mental health is better. Your physical health is better. You're on a distraction time. You have a goal listed for you. And that's something that I totally believe in. Have a goal, exercise, meds, and you're good to go.
But it can't be like that. It's what I'm doing right now isn't working. I have to up my game up, I have to spend at least a half hour to an hour a day, you know, 3 or 4 times a week. Um, so we're gonna work on that when I get back from Las Vegas here, and try to just keep up on my appointments. Like I said, I have treatment in a few minutes, or not in a few minutes, but like a half hour here. And then I see my mental health therapist at Hope Network. I see her this Wednesday, the day before I leave. So she wanted to get an appointment with me, before I left, since I'm going to be gone for a couple weeks. So that should be good. I have some decent news to share with her, and then I also have some problems to share with her, and that's okay. That's what therapy is for. But yeah, I think that I'm gonna make a separate video about managing hearing voices. And I think I'm also gonna make a video about my peer counselor, his advice on hearing voices that I was taught back in like 2016, 2017. I had a very good peer counselor who was paranoid schizophrenic and was very good at controlling it. And he gave me some really good advice. I'm thinking about making a separate video for that, and just kind of another video that's kind of a general um, thing, like a general way to manage hearing voices, because the way it was explained to me in therapy is like the voices are always going to be there, whether I'm on medication or not. The medication does help because it makes them quieter, it makes them less frequent, and it kind of takes the edge off them. But it's still going to happen from time to time, and you have to have the right tools to learn how to deal with that. You have to know how to take control over that situation. So I'm thinking about doing some videos about that. So that will be happening when I get back from Las Vegas. I'm probably not going to do any videos while I'm in Vegas, but um, yeah. So look forward to that. We'll talk about voices a lot when I get back, and yeah. Besides that, I hope you guys are doing okay. I hope everybody's week is off to a good start, and just want to send everybody positive vibes. So have a good afternoon, you guys. I'll talk to you in a couple weeks. Bye, guys.
So I just watched that entire video. What I think about it, I think this guy is on, he's on a pretty good progression towards getting better. I hope him the best. And, regarding voices, I'm not an expert on hearing voices. I don't have them myself, really. I do have thoughts of wanting to harm myself, but that's a little bit different. I'm not sure about the voices in general. I do know that medications can help with this. And, for me, if I have suicidal thoughts and they're strong in my mind, I often do distractions. I try to find an activity to do. I try to meditate. For the most part, throughout the day, I always include working out. And, for the most part, though I'm not working right now, I do like art. I sell art, do music, I play piano. I do all these things like chores for my dad. I do all these things to distract, and it's very beneficial. You have to have something to do throughout the day. If you don't, you're going to drive yourself crazy. So it's good to have some goals throughout the day when it comes to, hearing things, or you want to try to distract yourself from all that. And it can be really challenging. It's kind of like there's an interference in your mind, and you kind of you got to think about something that will alter that, or kind of slow down those voices, or obstruct that voice that is happening. Because I feel like if you're so focused on what you are actually thinking, then that actually might be detrimental to you. So you kind of want to build a more positive thought process. You kind of want to distract yourself. You kind of want to have goals throughout the day. Anything that will help get you throughout the day is something that I think is really beneficial. I think that's it. This is my first video in which I'm reacting to a guy with mental health issues. He is schizoaffective disorder bipolar type, which is literally what schizophrenia and bipolar is, essentially. But I am going to post this video. He gave me the permission to do a reaction to his post, or to one of his videos. He currently has 83 subscribers. I think he's looking for 100. I'll include this link on top, so that'll be in the description below. So if you seem to like these videos and you want me to react or give advice to any videos that are on YouTube regarding mental health, or even your own channel, or give you a shout out, please reach out to me at Beyond Bipolar blog. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, and hit the bell button if you want to see new videos. Thanks. Bye.